Hello, guys. A very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to today's masterclass on ChatGPT. So, in today's masterclass, we will essentially be looking on how are data scientists using ChatGPT in 2024. What are the different use cases of ChatGPT in day-to-day life of a data scientist, and how this profile itself is evolving with the advent of ChatGPT also coming in, and how differently will things be looking like down the line in like next 1 year, next 3 years, how things will be moving along this chapter. So welcome to this session. This will be a very hands-on session. uh, I will on the go, I'll show you guys how is ChatGPT being used. Very simple, very basic use cases. So so before we actually go ahead with the session, I think let's have a quick round of introduction. It will be great if you guys can just mention the city from where you have joined in and what will be your preferred mode of communication for this session. So type in on the chat box, guys, from where have you joined in. So Anshul from Gurgaon, welcome Anshul, welcome to the masterclass. Prashant from Hyderabad, welcome Prashant, welcome to the session. So I think a few folks are still joining in. Vijay Kumar from Hyderabad. Vijay Kumar, welcome to the session. I'm assuming all of you are comfortable with English. Let me know the mode of communication also in case you guys have any special requests. Jaswant from Chennai, welcome Jaswant. Vikas from Patna, welcome Vikas. Come on, guys. I think let everyone put in your location on chat. It's good to see that so many people joining from different part of the country coming together on a common platform for a common goal. Really happy to see all of you. Welcome, guys. Saurabh from Prayagraj, Kajal from Nagpur. Welcome, Saurabh. Welcome, Kajal. Great. So let me see how many people have joined in. Okay. Just another couple of minutes, guys, before. Hmm. Pardon for my throat. I think I'm having a little bit of cough, but okay, that's okay. That should not impact the session in any way. Great, guys. Welcome, all of you. Hmm. So, do drop in from where you have joined in and what is your preferred mode of communication. Do let us know, guys. Vikas Kumar Kumawat from Jaipur. Welcome, Vikas. Great, guys, great. So, just a brief about myself. I am Arshan Hassan, and I am one of the co-founder at AlmaBetter. And I think from a career perspective, I have been data scientist across multiple companies. I have like over 7 years of experience working as a data scientist. And post that, we essentially decided to pursue AlmaBetter itself. So that is like a brief about myself. So I'll explain you first what today's session is like. Hey, welcome Rahul. Rahul is from Ranchi. Welcome Rahul. My hometown is also Ranchi, by the way, but that's okay. So yeah, I'll give you a broad idea about today's session, what we are going to do, and how things will look like. So today we will try to understand how is ChatGPT changing the way data scientists or software developers are operating in general. What kind of impact ChatGPT is going to have in a day-to-day work life for like coming data scientist or budding data scientist. What are the different use cases? So as we go ahead with today's masterclass, I'll actually be doing some hands-on operations. I will be using ChatGPT for some of the use cases that is very contextual to today's data science roles. And then we'll also discuss that how will ChatGPT impact some of the roles, what is in there, what is not there, and then we'll also discuss about how AlmaBetter's curriculum is ChatGPT proof, as in how we at AlmaBetter augment or improvise our curriculum to actually incorporate ChatGPT, because the fundamental approach is that we understand that ChatGPT is something that is going to change things out there. And after that, towards the end, we'll have people from admissions counseling team who will answer all your queries, will give you a detailed walkthrough of how things will look like at AlmaBetter, how the classes are conducted, what are the course features that you get, how do you see lectures, how do you see recorded lectures, what are the different features around mentorships, job portals, so on and so forth, right? So there will be a detailed walkthrough of the learning ecosystem at AlmaBetter that we will do towards the end. Uh, so that will be the flow, guys. So in case you have any questions, so while I am taking you through the masterclass and talking about ChatGPT, so firstly, I would insist that you guys, if you have like slight idea around coding, you can start coding with me right now. So whatever I'll be doing today will be very basic and fundamental. So even if you don't have any coding background, no need to bother about that. You can pick it on the go, and we can essentially code together as well. So I'll be using very basic and very fundamental codes today to actually conduct this masterclass. Okay. And in terms of answering your doubts and queries, right? So start putting in your queries in the chat section. So I have a parallel screen out here with me wherein I can monitor all the chats and comments that are coming in. What I'll be doing is that every 10 minutes, I'll be pausing the masterclass and I will be having a look at questions to see that if there are any questions that are contextual to whatever topic we are discussing on, and I will be trying to pick up those questions. For course specific questions, we will pick it up at the end. We'll have admission counselors also who will be joining in, and they will start and they will essentially help you with all those queries and everything. So that's it, guys. Expecting next 60 minutes to be really fun in terms of how do we explore ChatGPT. And so continue being with me on this session. I hope that today you guys will learn something new. Today you guys will understand how ChatGPT is also bringing in improvements and essentially trying to ease out the life of developers, data scientists, and how people are using it, and also what are the potential ways in which people will be using ChatGPT going forward. So let me check the chat, and then let me begin. Shubhash from Nevada, welcome Shubhash. Kalyani from Nasik, welcome Kalyani. Ragendra from Osmanabad, Vikas Kumar from, I think Vikas, you have already introduced yourself. Okay. Great, guys. Welcome all of you to the session. Stick on with me. I'll try to make this session as interactive, as hands-on as possible. So no lecture and no presentation as such. We'll just go on the flow. Suhail Ahmed from Ankleshwar. Welcome, Suhail. Welcome to the session. ठीक है, just give me 1 minute. I am sharing my screen and then we essentially start off. So, guys, if you are here with me, three requirements for today's session. ठीक है? Uh, One is essentially that you go and open a Collab notebook. So, Collab notebook is a free service from Google. So, if you just search Collab notebook, so those who know coding or have like little bit of experience around coding, you must be having an idea of what Collab notebook is. But in case those who are not having, this is an ID wherein you can run your codes on cloud and experiment around with those things. So I'll just show you guys. So go to you can search Collab notebook on Google, and there is a Google Collab that will open up. And here you can start a new notebook. You can just click on new notebook, and you will essentially be getting an ID where you can write your codes, run your codes, and so there is this code cell wherein you can run whatever code you want to. So I'll just show you an example. So it runs all the codes in real time, and I think this is what essentially I'll also be using for today's session. Okay, so this, anyways, I am deleting. So this is the notebook. I think on the go, I think I'll be going very slowly with the code, what we are doing with ChatGPT, how things are moving. And in parallel, if you have some coding experience, you can essentially open a collab notebook in parallel and code with me and try it out with me. I think it will be fun if you guys are trying it out with me. In case you don't have any coding experience, no need to panic or no need to feel hesitant in actually trying this out. It is pretty simple. Whatever I am going to use today is very fundamental, is basic. And let's assume, for the sake of today's masterclass, I am assuming that I don't have any coding experience, and whatever I'll be doing today will be with the help of ChatGPT. So I'll not create any biasness that I am having some experience around coding, but I'll try to keep it as naive and as close to being a beginner as possible. So that is how we'll essentially move ahead with today's masterclass. In parallel, you can also open ChatGPT's interactive platform, chat.openai.com. Uh, so I think in case you guys have not yet used it, just go to chat.openai.com and you can sign in using your personal credentials, using your Gmail account or whatever email provider you are using. And we will be using this for generating some of the codes and trying to understand how things are moving. Shiba, welcome Shiba, welcome Sachin. Sachin is from Karnal. Shiva, I think you have not introduced yourself. That's fine. Daman is from Himachal. Shubham is from Chandigarh. Great guys. So I have posted the link of ChatGPT on the chat section. Feel free to open it and let's now just move ahead with the session. So let me just open a new ChatGPT tab. So till now, I think all of you must already be aware what ChatGPT essentially is, right? ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence based large language model, right, which was created by OpenAI, which is a company based out of USA, right? And what are the major use cases that ChatGPT is helping out today with, right? So the common use cases which even people from non-technical background, right, no matter you are from HR, sales, marketing, or you're a freelancer, or you are a student, or you are pursuing your PhD, masters, no matter what, everyone is using ChatGPT in some way or other. So one of the most primary use cases is content generation. Okay, so obviously you can ask ChatGPT to generate any type of content that you want to generate. You can just go to ChatGPT and say, right, hey, I am visiting mountains this winter season, and I have a few pics to upload. Can you suggest some captions? See, so this is like a very fundamental use case, right? So ChatGPT comes up with 10 caption ideas that can be used for a pic that you are uploading on any social media platform, right? So this is one of the basic use cases which almost everyone is doing in some form or other. Conversational AI. So I think a lot of startups today leverage conversational AI, right, for interacting with ChatGPT. So if you go to AlmaBetter's Instagram page, right, and you try to have a chat with ChatGPT over there. So AlmaBetter's Instagram account is essentially powered by ChatGPT. So there was a project that was done by the students at AlmaBetter, and they essentially fine-tuned ChatGPT to answer queries for AlmaBetter itself. So if you have not tried it yet, go to Instagram handle of AlmaBetter, type in hi, and you will essentially be chatting with a bot that essentially is powered by ChatGPT. So that is another pretty fundamental use case of ChatGPT. Sentiment analysis. By sentiment analysis, it means that uh, you can monitor the feedback and you can essentially pass any comment, any paragraph, and ask that what is the sentiment of this particular user, right? So this essentially helps in getting an understanding of how customers are giving feedback. So it is not possible to read through all the feedbacks and manually mark the sentiment against them. So with ChatGPT, a whole lot of those things can be done easily. You pass a paragraph and ask ChatGPT that is it a positive or negative sentiment. and the reply that you get essentially is almost close to how humans will also interpret that feedback, right? So that is so just so that is another use case. I think if I just show you an example of that, let me just take any product. For example, I take this product keywords, and so this is, let's take a negative review of this product, right? So let's try taking a negative review. I think a lot of people must have dropped in their reviews, right? Hmm. So let's take a 1 star review and let's see how. Hmm. So this is like a very big review. A guy called Adam Nelson has provided this review. Let's see how ChatGPT interprets. I'm not reading through it. I don't have the time to read through it. So I'll just go. I'll put a new chat, and then I'll ask ChatGPT, is the above review positive or negative? See, the above review is overwhelmingly negative. Okay. And you can also ask it in this way, that reply it in JSON format with returning a variable that is positive or negative. In case you want to automate it using a code, right? So this is, see, this is the kind of output which you get. So you can essentially build a whole a process around this, in which you're passing the reviews and mapping it negative, positive. So you can do, like, in 1 minute you can review thousands of reviews without actually going through each one of them, right? So that's the power of ChatGPT. That's what people are using it for: creative writing, poetry, short notes, short stories, right? So on and so forth. People are doing it. Personalization, definitely. So these are like very generic use cases of ChatGPT. But today, in this masterclass, what we will focus on is ChatGPT's use cases for a data scientist. And what all we will be covering in today's class is ChatGPT for code generation, how data scientists today are using ChatGPT for code generation, and how it is important going forward. ChatGPT for code optimization, ChatGPT for bug fixing. Then we will be doing a short EDA, exploratory data analysis, using ChatGPT. And while doing this EDA, I will not assume that I have any knowledge about coding or any libraries that I'm using. I'll assume that whatever we are doing is from scratch. So stick on with me, guys. And towards the end, we will be exploring a ChatGPT powered library that is pretty common and will become even more common or usable in the coming days. So these are the 5 broad constructs that we'll be trying to cover in next 1 hour. So be here with me, guys. And in case if you want to practice on the go, just open up a collab notebook in parallel, and we'll go ahead with it. Okay. So first thing is that ChatGPT for code generation. So let's try that. Can we ask ChatGPT to generate a code that is altogether new? So let's assume that today is my first day trying to explore the life of a data scientist, or trying to explore how data scientists operate. And my first task is to write a code in Python that takes a string as an input and returns the number of vowels in that string. So, for example, people who don't understand what a function is, the function is nothing but it's a way you tell Python that these are some of the inputs, perform this task for me, and give me an output. So, same as mathematical functions, right? That probably if you are using a squared function, so you'll say that I'll pass in 2, and the object and the function should return me 4, right? If I pass in 4, the function should return me 16. So, what is function doing? Function is essentially doing some operations on the input variables and giving you an output variables. That is like a prime definition of functions. So today, but I don't know what the syntax is, how to write function in Python. So today, let's assume that this is the first thing that we are going to try. So we'll ask ChatGPT that write a Python code that takes a string as an input. So basically, it will take a string, which means it's a collection of characters, which it takes as an input and returns the number of vowels in that strings, right? So Hi, how are you? The number of vowels are I, O, A, E, O, U, right? So six. So this is what I expect from this code or from this function to happen. So let's see how ChatGPT handles this. Great. So ChatGPT has been able to give me a piece of code, right? It has given me a piece of code. So now, obviously, so what is important, right? What is important? So nowadays, generating code using ChatGPT is very easy. So it generated this code for me. So what is important for me as a data scientist is that I'm aware of the core fundamentals of how this code is working. So while reading this code, I should be able to understand that what is happening in this code. So ChatGPT can help you with creating, generating altogether new set of code, but still your capabilities around how you are understanding the code, how well it is written, what are the variables. So this is like a function name, this is a variable name, this is a for loop that has started. There is an if else loop, if else condition. Then there is a return statement in which the function is returning something. So this understanding obviously you need to have as a data scientist or as a developer, and that is why it is important to be aware of the fundamentals, right, of what data science is. So if I just show you course at AlmaBetter, right, so it is how it is. Just give me 1 minute, guys, just give me 1 minute. Yes, sorry guys for that delay. Yes. Right. If you guys have any question, I'll be more than happy to answer it. But ठीक है, let's continue with the session for now. So this is what the code that ChatGPT returned to me. Obviously, we need to have an understanding. So in case you are doing it hands-on with me, just copy the code that you got from ChatGPT and paste it here. ठीक है? Paste it here and let's run this. Let's run this. It is showing some error because we did not paste it properly. Let's copy it another time. Hmm. So we ran this code. Let's see if it works or not. So if my input is how, so what should be the output? The output should be one, right? Because there is only one vowel in this. Let's see. Great. So how are you? What should be the output? Six, right? Great. Five. How are you? Five. Sorry, yeah. So O A E O U. Okay, five. Yes. So see this. So even though I had no idea about coding, I was able to write a Python code that takes as an input a string, and that string can be any string and return something positive. So till today, if you did not have any idea about coding, still you will be able to generate code and perform some operations on top of it. Okay. Now you guys must be wondering that this was a pretty simple use case, that provide a string and give me the number of vowels. This is a very generic use case, and probably that's why ChatGPT was able to generate code so easily for that. But that's not the case. ChatGPT handles custom use cases also very, very effectively. So for our next example, what we will do is we will essentially take this example. So in this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give very custom requirements to ChatGPT that, hey, write a Python code that takes the age of a person and his income as input. So in this function, we would ask him to take two input parameters, age and income, and then decide the discount percentage that a person can get. Okay. And what is the logic behind giving that discount percentage? That I have stated in six conditions below, that if the age of the person is less than 20 years and if his income is less than INR 1 lakh, then the discount should be 50%. So on and so forth. I provided six conditions, right? So now this is a very custom use case. This is not a generic use case. The earlier use case that we discussed was still generic in nature, but this is a very custom use case. But let's try that with this custom use case, which is very specific to what I want, right? That how I want my code to be written. Let's see how ChatGPT essentially handles this use case. Okay, so I'll provide the entire context to ChatGPT. I will write all my conditions in words. It's very important. So, what is the most important thing by while using ChatGPT is the prompt that you are providing is well written, is clearly defined, and you have your objectives well specified, right? So, see, it was able to accomplish the task for me. It was able to return me a function, and I think this function will pretty much work. Let's check it. Let's copy the code and let's go back over here. Okay, let me just remove the old code, put in the new one. So this is the function define calculate discount is the function name. Okay. So now let's take an example. Let's take this second condition. If the age of the person is less than 40 years. So let's assume that the age of the person is 32 years and his income is less than 1 lakh. So we will assume that the age of the person is 32 years and his income is suppose 80,500, right? So which category he will fall in? Less than 40 years and income is also less than 1 lakh. So out of the six categories, it is falling in the second category. So the output should be 30%. Let's say, let's see what the discount percentage. See, so if I am providing input as 32 and income as 80,500, it is able to give me an output which is 30%, right? So see, ChatGPT was able to essentially cover a very basic use case, right? It was not only a very basic use case, but a very custom, very specific use case. So I could have added 10 more conditions. So the idea is that if you're giving proper enough context to ChatGPT and you are telling it to solve a problem for yourself, then ChatGPT will be able to do that, even though that requirement is very specific, right? So suppose you have to generate a code and you have to perform certain actions on certain data set. So in today's masterclass, we'll also try to do that. We'll try to do EDA, exploratory data analysis, to see how ChatGPT helps around that front also. So yeah, code generation using ChatGPT is a very fundamental use case, and nowadays people are using it, and people are smartly using it. So instead of writing this entire code, I generate it, I read it, I see if there is any error, the logic is fine or not. If it is fine, I just run the code. I don't need to write the entire code today on my own. So that is what the power of ChatGPT is. Okay, I think hope this helped you guys to understand the power of ChatGPT for this. Uh, Abhishek Sachdeva, I think you can, Abhishek, you can put in your question on the Q&A section or chat. I'll try to answer it. Saurav, you are asking that I have a non-coding background. Can I join the data science course? Yes, Saurav, I think so. I'll just briefly tell you that even though so many people, right, even though so many people from non-technical background come up and always have this question that will I be able to join? So the fundamental point that I say is that data science as a field itself is new. Even in colleges, you won't find BTech degrees in data science. That is yet to come. This is a new field that has started exploring and growing in last 5 to 7 years. More and more companies have started building data science team. More and more companies have started hiring new data scientists. So this is like a growing profile, obviously, right? And there is no formal education setup that tells that you can be a data scientist or not a data scientist. So as long as the field interests you, as long as you feel that maybe this is the right career path that you want to move ahead, you can take up a course that starts things from scratch, and that is how it will help you out. Abhishek, you are saying that I am working as a Java backend developer with 2+ years of experience. My current package is 4 LPA. So now I'm looking for a job change with a decent salary hike. Abhishek, you should totally be doing that, because if you have 2 years of experience and that too as a Java backend developer, you are getting underpaid if you are still working at 4 LPA. I think I am being very upfront. You should totally be looking for upskilling and trying to move up the ladder. I think definitely given your work experience, you totally deserve somewhere between 8 to 10 LPA in the current market. So that is what the average industry standards tells me basis the work years or the number of years of experience that you have. Someone is asking me to share the link of Collab notebook. So, guys, I'll share both the notebooks. So, there is a Collab notebook as well as a data set as well. So, I'm sharing the link to the data set also. Collab notebook, what I'll do is I'll, by towards the end of the session, we will essentially put it on on some place. ठीक है. ठीक है, I'm also sharing the link to Collab Notebook because some of you want to copy the question and try it out hands on. So that's also fine. I'm putting that also on the chat section. Great. So let's continue. Let's continue with our masterclass. So guys are here on with me, right? I hope you guys are. Abhishek, yes, pay after placement options are available. In fact, our uh, Almax program is purely pay after placement. So stick on towards the end. So currently, I think let us cover questions around masterclass itself because a lot of people have joined for the masterclass. Let me allow me some next 45 to 50 minutes to cover up the topics that I want you to brief on. And probably this will be helpful for you if you guys are looking for a career in data science. And towards the end we have a like a very good presentation planned wherein the sales the counseling team will essentially be taking care of all the questions that you have and will be doing a detailed walkthrough of the uh, entire setup at AlmaBetter. Which team I need to connect with you? Someone from admission counseling team can take up the questions over here. So Abhishek, Krishna, I guess can sync up with Abhishek or ask the relevant person to take up the questions. Abhishek, don't worry, someone will get in touch with you. And if you stick towards the end of the session, we have admission counselors who will come up and answer all the queries for you. ठीक है, okay. Great, guys. Next use case is ChatGPT for code optimization. So, see, whenever we are writing code, especially when we are beginners, right, we tend to write unoptimal codes. There are ways in which code can be written in a simple two-line fashion, but because we are new and we don't know how to write very optimal codes, we end up writing unoptimal code. So, for example, if I take one example that I was supposed to write a code which takes as an array and a search element as an input and returns true if the search element exists in the array, otherwise it returns false, right? So this is a very simple use case that I have. So for that I have written a code. This has deliberately been written in an unoptimal manner. I there are multiple lines of codes that are part of it. So if I just ask ChatGPT that this is the code that I have written and this is the operation that I'm performing. So first, let's see that the operation being performed is right or not. So there is an array called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there is a search element called 2, and it will return true if 2 exists in this element, otherwise it will return false, right? So see, it ran through the loop 5 times. So there were 5 elements, so it checked 5 times. It got 2 at the second place itself, so it could have stopped the function over here itself and returned true, but it kept on executing for the next 3 times, right? Assume there were 1 million arrays, 1 million elements in the array, right? If there were 1 million elements in the array and 2 existed at the second or third place, then even after getting that 2 exist, right? That the search element exists in the array, even after knowing that, it would have still executed the loop for 1 million times. So this is an unoptimal approach. Plus, also the way the function, the way that we have written a line of codes, right? There is possible way out that because we are writing it as a new by that we are writing so many lines of code, can it be done in a simple way? So let's ask ChatGPT if it can help us out with this. So very simple. I'll just go and ask this that uh, a function that searches for a particular element in an array and returns true if the element exists. Okay, so we give it the requirement that what this function is doing. and I'm saying the below code is unoptimal. Can you help me write an optimal code? See, the code that it returned me is just in 2 lines, right? So whatever I did over here in five, right, 7 lines can be done in 2 lines, right? So that is how, if you are a newbie, right, and if you are writing codes, and if you want to essentially write codes that are very optimal, consume less space, are having low time complexity, low space complexity, then you can go and just take the help of ChatGPT. So let's see, the this is the function that ChatGPT returned us. Is this working fine? Check array. I provide this array and a search element. Because the search element is in the array, it returns true. If the search element was not in the array, let's say 43, it would have returned false. So this function is doing the same thing that I was doing, but in a very optimal way, right? Just in 2 lines of code. So that is the beauty of chat gpt, guys, on how you can use it for code optimization, right? Are you guys here with me? समझ में आ रही है चीजें? Give me a thumbs up if you guys are here with me. Great, great, guys. So this is like one of the basic fundamental use cases of ChatGPT, right? Now next, now before we move ahead, right? There are some misconceptions that people have that I would want to answer, and this comes like in a lot of master classes and in a lot of sessions that I conduct with students. That generally students fear that because ChatGPT is coming in, job or profile of data scientist, data analyst will no more be relevant. So that's not the right way to think through it, because with the advent of chat gpt and with these things coming into the picture, things will only improve. It will not happen that with chat gpt coming in, uh, uh, developers or data scientists or data analysts will not be needed anymore, right? Chat gpt is there to help you out, but it's you have to understand the code, review the code, and understand that whatever you are doing is right. Plus, the other way to look at it is something which I always give an example of: industrial revolution, right? So, pre-industrial revolution, right, when there were no machineries, right, a lot of people had a lot of manual tasks to do. Everything was done almost manually, but the working hours was pretty inhumane, right? People were working 14 hours, 16 hours shift a day, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. There was no proper labor laws, nothing existed. I'm talking about 50, 60 years from now, when essentially the advent of modern day machinery was not pretty well absorbed in the society. So that is how things were back then, right? Then फिर क्या हुआ, उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि जब चीजें आई, तो फिर भी उस टाइम बहुत सारे लोगों ने बोला कि अब बिकॉज machines have come in that are doing the job that humans were doing, so humans will no longer be needed. But is that what happened? No, वैसा नहीं हुआ ना. मतलब ultimately what happened was that instead of 16 hours shift, the quality of life, the quality of work improved. People moved to 8-hour shift, 5 days a week working, 10-hour shift, better laws, better incentives for humans. So overall, the quality of humans went up. सो इट्स दैट कि अगर आप अज्यूम करते ये मशीन पूरे लोगों को रिप्लेस कर देगा, तो इंस्टेड ऑफ रिप्लेसिंग एवरी सिंगल ह्यूमन, it essentially helped cutting down the number of hours that people were required to put in work. So overall quality of life improved. तो चैट जीपीटी के आने से क्या होगा? चैट जीपीटी के आने से the quality of life for data scientists, data analysts will improve. Probably we will see that going forward we'll have 4-day working culture where data scientists, data analysts are coming and working for 4 days. और बहुत सारे कंट्रीज में ऑलरेडी ये चीज स्टार्ट हो गई है, एंड वन स्टार्ट कंपनी स्टार्ट अडॉप्टिंग इट, that is how you will see that the overall productivity of things move up. So nothing ever can come in and just destroy humanity, because then that fundamentally will not be acceptable by the humanity itself. It has to come in and improve the quality of life, quality of work for humans. That is what technologies have been doing till now. So that is how you should keep on seeing it, that probably your work is to salary ratio will improve. आप जितना काम करके जो पैसे आपको आज के डेट में मिल रहे हैं, उससे कम काम करके उससे ज्यादा पैसे आपको कल के डेट में मिलेंगे, बिकॉज चैट जीपीटी as a efficiency booster will be present there in the society for overall scheme of things, right? So that is how you have to see through it, and never get bogged down by the fact that because this is coming in. Yes, what is important that you are ready to absorb and use chat gpt in whatever you're doing. If you want to become a modern day scientist, Go for a curriculum, go for a course, go for an institute that understands the value of ChatGPT or understands the value of latest technology, modifies its curriculum accordingly. So if I just give you an example of AlmaBetter, so our curriculum, right? If I just take you through the course curriculum, right? If I just take you through the curriculum, you see that every module that we have, so in every module we have multiple chapters that are part of the module, and in each module there is an implementation of ChatGPT, right? That pair programming using ChatGPT, data wrangling using Pandas AI, which is another ChatGPT library which we will be covering today in masterclass. ChatGPT for writing SQL queries. So it's very important that the curriculum and the kind of education that you are giving yourself, right, the kind of knowledge that you are absorbing is very relevant to modern day scales, right? And what you are learning essentially is something that is ChatGPT proof, or in a way you are saying that you are already learning the modern day skills. So probably becoming a data scientist 3 years from now, which was like in 2020 or 2021, is different from what it is in 2024. Things are evolving very fast. So always have a focus that no matter whichever institute, whichever organization you are joining, but the guys have an understanding of how things are being evolving in this industry, and the curriculum, the learning methodology, the pedagogy is very well adapted to those structure. So that is what we totally feel at Alma Better, that this is something that we want to drive, we want to do. And hence, all our courses, if you see, are having the ChatGPT add-on, which essentially helps you understand things on how ChatGPT can be used across all these modules, across all these concepts, and in your day-to-day code, day-to-day life. ठीक है? In case you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me out. I will be answering it on the go. But ठीक है. Otherwise, we'll move ahead with it. So, how many of you are trying things out in parallel with me? Just give me a thumbs up if you have opened a collab notebook in parallel and you're doing something on the go. Great, guys. I think I would insist that you guys try this out, because it is a session wherein things are very hands-on. I don't have anything planned, and these are very basic fundamental things. So don't worry on that. I think you will be able to get it. So try it out. Even though you don't know coding, try it out today. Also today, what I will do is from a perspective of a person who is having zero coding experience or very minimal coding experience. ठीक है, अब नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल लेते हैं. नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल में वी विल यूज चैट जीपीटी फॉर बग फिक्सिंग. नाउ बग कैन बी टू टाइप्स. वन इज लाइक लॉजिकल एरर, कि मेरा कोड तो सही काम कर रहा है लेकिन लॉजिक में कुछ एरर है, मुझे कुछ करवाना था अपने फंक्शन से, अपने कोड से, बट वो हो नहीं रहा है. फॉर एग्जांपल, आई हैव टेकन अ array of cities, दिल्ली, मुंबई, कोलकाता, बेंगलुरु एंड चेन्नई. 5 सिटी हैं, और द आउटपुट दैट आई एक्सपेक्ट इज दैट फ्रॉम एवरी सिटी टू अदर सिटी इट गेट्स प्रिंटेड. ठीक है, ये मेरा आउटपुट है. तो मैंने अपना कोड लिखा. आई रैन फर्स्ट लूप इन एरे सिटीज, देन अ नेस्टेड लूप विद इन दैट, एंड देन आई प्रिंटेड ईच सिटी टू ईच सिटी. तो पहले मैंने दिल्ली लिया, एंड देन आई प्रिंटेड दिल्ली टू मुंबई, दिल्ली टू कोलकाता, दिल्ली टू बेंगलुरु, देन आई मुंबई, मुंबई टू दिल्ली, मुंबई टू कोलकाता. So that is what I did. So my code executed fine. So if I just run this code, it executed fine. But there is one logical problem with this code, that it is printing same city from Delhi to Delhi, from Mumbai to Mumbai. Now, let's assume that this becomes a case with that my code will get rejected, because I can't, this doesn't make sense, right? अगर मैं एक ट्रैवल साइट के लिए ये चीज बना रहा हूँ कि लिस्ट ऑफ ऑल सिटीज टू सिटी, देन फ्रॉम दिल्ली टू दिल्ली का पेयर तो कुछ सेंस नहीं बनता है, दैट यू विल गो फ्रॉम दिल्ली टू दिल्ली, राइट? सो आई वांट टू लॉजिकली रिमूव दिस एरर, but for some reason I'm not able to do that, right? So I'm not able to understand that what logic should I add, or how should I change my code that everything else is printed but same city names are not printed. So before I go and ask ChatGPT on how to incorporate or fix this logical error, can someone on chat tell me that how can we fix this? Like, if you guys have some experience, go ahead and tell me how can we do this. Otherwise, I'll definitely ask ChatGPT on how we can do this. Let's do a new chat altogether. सो आई थिंक इसने जो रिटर्न किया है दैट इज ऑलमोस्ट सेम एज व्हाट वी रिटर्न्ड, बट द वे इट हैज इम्प्रोवाइज्ड इज दैट उसने रेंज में i+1 ऐड कर लिया है, सो विच मीन्स दैट द सेम सिटी नेम्स आर नॉट गोइंग टू गेट प्रिंटेड. ठीक है. Let's try asking it in a better way. So this will work, but I see that there is one case that it will not be able to cover. So I'll just write another. I'll try to improve the instruction that I'm getting. So see, let's try this, how this works, whether this works or doesn't work. Let's check this out. So see, I think this worked fine, right? So उसने क्या किया, उसने एक लाइब्रेरी इंपोर्ट की, आइटर टूल्स, एंड उसमें से परमुटेशन एक फंक्शन इंपोर्ट किया, और देन ईच सिटी नेम उसने उसको परम्यूट करते हुए इट प्रिंटेड इट. सो see, Delhi to Delhi, Mumbai to Mumbai was not printed. So if you don't understand this piece of code, that's okay for now. But the idea is that if you provide the right set of instructions, right, then it will be able to handle this. Right? अगर आप बोलोगे कि मुझे ऐसा ऐसा लिखा है मैंने कोड, so over here I used a very basic one line prompt, right, to help me do it. If I gave the prompt even more specifically, it would have been able to do that. So उसने यहाँ पे iter tools use किया. अगर आपको ये use नहीं करना है, तो आप इसको वो भी बोल सकते हो that do this without using iter tools. So let me just copy this again, and let's see that I'll ask ChatGPT to not use iter tools. Please don't use iter tools. देखो, अगर मैं उसको बोला कि आप वही काम करो, लेकिन क्योंकि मुझे लाइब्रेरी नहीं पता है, लेट्स अज्यूम दैट आई एम नॉट अवेयर ऑफ दिस लाइब्रेरी और इसमें क्या हो रहा है, ये क्या नया फंक्शन आ गया है, शायद कंफ्यूजन हो सकता है, तो आप बोलो कि मुझे ये नहीं चाहिए, आप इसके बिना बताओ. तो उसने मुझे बिना आइटर टूल्स यूज किए एक यहाँ पे रिटर्न दिया है. सो लेट्स ट्राई दिस आउट, अगर ये काम करता है कि नहीं करता है. अगर मैं इसमें ये पेस्ट करूं, so see, this also worked for me, and this is very simple. तो उसने क्या किया, दोनों लूप के बाद just it applied a condition that city name 1 is not equal to city name 2, then only print it, right? So एक ये simple if condition लगाने से सब कुछ sort हो गया, right? Right. I think what Suhail you have also replied is right. That is what is expected. ठीक है. फिक्सिंग सिंटैक्स एरर, तो अगर मैं लॉजिकल एरर फिक्स कर सकता हूं तो मैं सिंटैक्स एरर भी फिक्स कर सकता हूं. तो मैं बस चैट जीपीटी को सीधा बोलूंगा कि दिस इज अ कोड इन विच आई दैट टेक्स अ नंबर एज इनपुट एंड रिटर्न्स वेदर द नंबर इज पॉजिटिव, नेगेटिव और जीरो. बहुत सिंपल फंक्शन है. मैं एक नंबर पास कर रहा हूँ, और अगर वो पॉजिटिव है तो वो पॉजिटिव लिख के रिटर्न कर रहा है, नेगेटिव है तो नेगेटिव लिख के रिटर्न कर रहा है, अदरवाइज जीरो रिटर्न कर रहा है. बट मुझे सिंटैक्स नहीं पता था, तो मैंने कुछ तो गलत लिख रखा है जिसकी वजह से मेरा कोड नहीं चल रहा है. तो मैं यहाँ पे अपना कोड चला रहा हूँ तो सिंटैक्स एरर आ रहा है. नाउ लेट्स अज्यूम दैट आई एम नॉट एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई कि क्या सिंटैक्स एरर है, इनवैलिड सिंटैक्स है, क्या गलत कर रहा हूँ. दैट आई एम नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. सो आई विल आस्क चैट जीपीटी दैट दिस इज, कैन यू राइट द राइट कोड फॉर मी. तो उसने उस सिंटैक्स एरर को सॉर्ट करते हुए सही कोड दे दिया हमें. it replied with a correct code that I will paste over here and try. ठीक है. And let's see कि if this is working or not. So my function, अगर मैं एक पॉजिटिव नंबर ले रहा हूँ तो वो पॉजिटिव रिटर्न कर रहा है, अगर मैं एक नेगेटिव नंबर लूंगा तो वो नेगेटिव रिटर्न करेगा. सी, तो जो सिंटैक्स एरर वाला कोड था वो सही काम करने लगा, राइट. सो दिस इज लाइक फंडामेंटल यूज केसेस गाइड. तो अभी तक हमने क्या कवर कर लिया है, जस्ट टू रिकैप. वी कवर्ड कोड जनरेशन, कोड ऑप्टिमाइजेशन एंड बग फिक्सिंग. ये तीन चीज हम कवर कर लिए. नेक्स्ट, फॉर टुडेज क्लास व्हाट वी विल बी डूइंग is we will be doing an EDA. So let's assume that I joined as a data analyst at one of the companies, and there is a data set that has been given to me, and I need to do some EDS. So कुछ requirements हैं, for example मैनेजर ने बोला है कि ये डेटा निकालो, ये बताओ कि इसका मीन क्या है, मोड क्या है, कुछ भी whatever XYZ यूज केसेस हो सकते हैं. Let's keep it very open ended. एंड फिर हम अज्यूम करेंगे कि आई डोंट नो, आई हैव जीरो कोडिंग एक्सपीरियंस. मुझे बस इतना पता है कि pandas इज अ लाइब्रेरी इन पाइथन that is heavily used by data scientists, data analysts for doing a whole lot of operations. इसमें बहुत सारे इनबिल्ट फंक्शंस होते हैं जो कि आप यूज कर सकते हो. सो इस पीस ऑफ कोड के लिए आप वरी मत करो. इसमें हम क्या कर रहे हैं, बस pandas लाइब्रेरी को इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. सो नथिंग मच ऑन दिस. एंड उसके बाद वी आर एसेंशियली गिविंग गूगल कोलैब नोटबुक एक्सेस टू माई ड्राइव. ठीक है, तो मेरा ऑलरेडी ड्राइव माउंटेड है, तो यहाँ पे डिड नॉट आस्क फॉर एनी एक्सेस, अदरवाइज इट वुड हैव ओपनड अ परमिशंस वाला पेज एंड आपको परमिशंस अलाउ करना पड़ता और अपने ड्राइव का एक्सेस देना पड़ता. नेक्स्ट हमने अपने ड्राइव में एक तो जो गूगल ड्राइव है उसमें हमने एक वो रख रखा है. देयर इज अ डेटा सेट दैट वी विल बी यूजिंग व्हिच इज लाइक अ लोन डेटा सेट. तो वो जो पाथ है उसका पाथ आप कॉपी कर लेते हो. यू कॉपी द पाथ ऑफ दैट फाइल दैट यू आर गोइंग टू यूज एंड उसको आप यहाँ पे फाइल पाथ में पेस्ट कर देते हो एंड देन यू essentially read that file. So pandas.read.csv. So this is essentially what I'm doing over here. तो इतना बेसिक आपको समझना है कि मैं कैसे फाइल इंपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ. अगर आपके पास कोई कोडिंग एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, डोंट वरी, यू कैन इग्नोर दीज टू सेल्स एंड कंसिडर दैट दिस इज अ ब्लैक बॉक्स इन विच आई एम इंपोर्टिंग दी फाइल्स फॉर डूइंग सर्टेन ऑपरेशंस. बट बहुत सिंपल चीजें कर रहा हूँ मैं, अपने ड्राइव का एक्सेस दे रहा हूँ एंड जो उस ड्राइव में जो CSV फाइल रखी हुई है, so that CSV files path is what I am passing in over here and importing that path, right? Now हमने import कर दिया, right? It is in this variable called df. So अब मुझे columns देखने हैं. So how do I do that, right? So let's take a new chat. How do I check the columns of my data set in pandas? ठीक है, ये हम पहला क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं. सो उसने बोला कि इंपोर्ट पांडास आज पीडी कर लो और उसके बाद अगर तुम्हारा डेटा फ्रेम का नाम डीएफ है तो डीएफ डॉट कॉलम्स इज व्हाट यू नीड टू चेक. तो हम डीएफ डॉट कॉलम्स डाल के देखते हैं कि क्या क्या कॉलम्स देख आ रहे हैं. तो मुझे पता चलेगा कि ये सब मेरे कॉलम्स हैं. तो अब मैं ये वाला जो इंफॉर्मेशन है ना, दिस आई विल प्रोवाइड एज एन इनपुट टू चैट जीपीटी दैट दीज आर द कॉलम्स ऑफ माय डेटा सेट. ओके, how do I check? So let's assume कि अब मुझे इस डेटा सेट का एक सैंपल व्यू दिखना है कि डेटा सेट दिखता कैसा है, क्या कॉलम्स, कॉलम्स के नाम तो पता चल गए बट मुझे कुछ सैंपल दिखा दो. हाउ डू आई चेक अ सैंपल ऑफ दिस डेटा? हाउ डू आई व्यू? ठीक है, तो उसने बोला बहुत इजी है, आप df डॉट हेड यूज कर लो. वो क्या करेगा कि आपको फर्स्ट 5 रोज ऑफ योर डेटा फ्रेम दिखा देगा. बोला ओके, लेट्स ट्राई दिस. तो सी इट ऑल्सो एक्सप्लेन्ड इट, राइट, दैट व्हाट ही इज गोइंग टू डू. सो इसने बोला कि कमेंट्स में वो एक्सप्लेन कर रहा है. सो एनीथिंग दैट स्टार्ट्स विद हैशटैग इन पाइथन is a comment, so that is not executed by Python, it is considered as a comment. So comments में it has given the instruction that what is going to happen, and यहाँ पे जो uncommented है, this is the code df dot head, right? So we'll put df dot head. ठीक है, df dot head लिखा हमने and I'll just run this. So it showed me कि क्या मुझे दिखा, right? It showed me that these are my columns, gender, married. तो ये डेटा सेट मैं थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ. दिस डेटा सेट इज नथिंग बट a loan data set in which we have some information of loan applicants, that उनका gender क्या है, they are married, not married, do they have any dependents, education background, self-employed, income, co-applicant income, and basis that there is a status which says that the loan was approved or rejected. ठीक है, ये डेटा सेट है, एज सिंपल एज दिस, राइट? एंड ईच रो रिप्रेजेंट्स वन लोन एप्लीकेंट, वन कस्टमर डेटा. सो ये मुझे दिख गया कि काफी सिंपल तरीके से हो सकता है. सिमिलरली डीएफ डॉट सैंपल यूज करके भी मैं सेम चीज देख सकता हूँ. अब suppose next thing that I want to understand is that how do I see the data types of the columns. तो उसने बोला डीएफ डॉट डी टाइप्स यूज कर लो, इससे तुम्हें पता चल जाएगा कि तुम्हारे कॉलम्स किस टाइप के हैं। तो मैंने वो डाला डीएफ डॉट डेटा टाइप्स, तो उसने मुझे बता दिया कि आपका ये जेंडर, मैरिड, डिपेंडेंट, ये सब ऑब्जेक्ट टाइप्स हैं। एप्लीकेंट इनकम इज एन इंटीजर टाइप, को एप्लीकेंट इनकम इज अ फ्लोट टाइप वेरिएबल, लोन अमाउंट इज एन इनकम टाइप, इज एन इंटीजर टाइप वेरिएबल। तो अगर मुझे वेरिएबल देखना नहीं भी आता था तो मैंने देख लिया, लाइक दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स। Now, one thing to remember guys is that अगर आप चैट जीपीटी से एक डेटा सेट के बारे बात कर रहे हो और एक ऑपरेशंस के बारे बात कर रहे हो, तो कीप द थ्रेड एक्टिव, डोंट गो एंड आस्क द क्वेश्चन इन एन ऑल टुगेदर न्यू थ्रेड, because ChatGPT remembers the context of what you are chatting or what you are doing. So for example यहाँ पे मैंने लिखा how do I see the data types of the column, so उसके पहले जो मैंने चीजें पूछी थी, it did not forget that, it still remembers that, and the answer is in context to everything that we have chatted till now and how the chat has progressed. ठीक है? Now let's try something कुछ भी आप use case try करते हैं. If you guys have any questions या फिर any similar questions that you guys want to ask, this is what we can then proceed ahead with. Object data type, Suhail, is nothing but one of the data types in Python. Mostly आपको जो string variables हैं वो as an object यहाँ पे दिखाए हुए हैं. So that is it. It's like one of the data types, जैसे integer, फ्लोट होते हैं, वैसे ऑब्जेक्ट डेटा टाइप्स होते हैं जो कि मतलब आर, सो दीज वेरिएबल्स आर इनिशियलाइज्ड एज ऑब्जेक्ट। ठीक है। सो डोंट वरी मच ऑन दैट। तो अभी हम कुछ ईडीए करते हैं। लेट्स सी दैट, लेट्स काउंट द नंबर ऑफ यूजर्स दैट आर सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड। ठीक है, तो सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड कॉलम है, उसमें यस और नो है। तो हम इससे पूछते हैं हाउ डू आई काउंट द नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज, नंबर ऑफ यूजर्स ले लेते हैं who are self employed। तो वो मुझे बोल रहा है कि काफी सही है, आप जा करके बस ये करो कि एक एक वेरिएबल इनिशियलाइज करो, उसमें डीएफ सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड डॉट वैल्यू काउंट्स ले लो, इससे आपका वैल्यू काउंट हो जाएगा। ठीक है, तो चलो हम ट्राई करते हैं इसको। तो हमने ये पुराना मिटाया एंड ये कोड कॉपी कर लेते हैं। ठीक है, तो उसने बोला कि इसमें 500 लोग ये हैं और बेसिकली 500 पीपल आर देयर विच आर नॉट एम्प्लॉयड एंड 82 पीपल आर एम्प्लॉयड। एक और रैंडम चीज करते हैं, लेट्स टेक अ रैंडम एग्जांपल। ठीक है, लेट्स टेक एनी रैंडम एग्जांपल। तो मैं कुछ कुछ नीचे वाली चीजें डिलीट भी कर देता हूँ एंड लेट्स टेक फ्रेश एग्जांपल्स। ठीक है, तो अब मुझे जानना है कि टोटल कितने रोज हैं। हाउ डू आई सी दी लेंथ ऑफ माई डेटा सेट। ठीक है, कितने रोज हैं। हाउ डू आई सी दी नंबर ऑफ रोज ऑफ माई डेटा सेट। तो वो बोल रहा है डीएफ डॉट शेप यूज कर लो, उससे तुम्हें नंबर ऑफ रोज बता देगा वो। तो चलो लेट्स ट्राई। ठीक है, लेट्स ट्राई, नंबर ऑफ रोज बता देगा क्या मुझे। हाँ, उसने बता दिया कि यहाँ पे 614 आपके नंबर ऑफ रोज है, राइट, विच इज फाइन। तो यहाँ पे बेसिकली 582 थे, तो बाकी बहुत सारे जो 614 माइनस 582 बचे वो सारे मिसिंग वेरिएबल्स है, वहां पे कुछ है नहीं डेटा। और एक थोड़ा सा स्पेसिफिक यूज केस लेते हैं, दैट आई विल आस्क चैट जीपीटी दैट ये दोनों जो कॉलम्स हैं, एप्लीकेंट इनकम और को एप्लीकेंट इनकम, इन दोनों का सम करके एक नया कॉलम बनाओ जिसका नाम है टोटल इनकम, एप्लीकेंट प्लस को एप्लीकेंट, टोटल इनकम, एंड दैट शुड बी द सम ऑफ दीज टू कॉलम्स। ठीक है, ये मुझे करवाना है। ठीक है, तो आई विल जस्ट कॉपी दिस प्रॉम्प्ट। ठीक है, अभी मैं सब कुछ डिलीट करूंगा नीचे। ओके, सो मैं इसको बोलूंगा कि कैन यू हेल्प मी क्रिएट अ न्यू कॉलम called total income, that is the sum of applicant income and co-applicant income, and print the new sample data also. ठीक है, तो ये थोड़ा सा स्पेसिफिक यूज केस है कि मुझे एक नया कॉलम क्रिएट करना है अपने डेटा फ्रेम में। तो उसने मुझे एक कोड यहाँ पे ला करके दे दिया कि दिस इज व्हाट यू कैन यूज, इसको आप ट्राई करिए। तो मैंने इसको डाला एंड लेट्स सी वेदर इट वर्क्स और नॉट, राइट। इसको मैं थोड़ा सा सही से प्रिंट कर देता हूँ। सी तो ऊपर हमारे पास टोटल इनकम था नहीं था, स्टेटस के बाद कोई कॉलम नहीं था, उसने नीचे एक नया कॉलम ऐड कर दिया विच इज टोटल इनकम, विच इज देखो यहाँ पे 45 और 15 का सम 60, राइट। तो यहाँ पे सम आ गया है। वैसे ही अगर आप वैसे ही हमें कुछ भी और चाहिए, सो what I'm trying to do essentially over here is that even though I have no knowledge of EDA exploratory data analysis, बट मैं चैट जीपीटी को कॉन्टेक्स्ट दे करके कि मेरा डेटा फ्रेम ऐसा है और मुझे ये काम करना है, इसका कोड बताओ, दूसरा ये काम करना है, इसका कोड बताओ, राइट। लेट्स अज्यूम दैट कि मुझे नैन वैल्यूज कर कैलकुलेट करने हैं, तो मैं ये बताऊंगा कि नैन वैल्यूज कर कैसे कैलकुलेट करने हैं और मुझे क्या चाहिए। तो चैट जीपीटी मुझे उसके लिए कोड रिटर्न करेगा, फिर मैं वो कोड यहाँ चला सकता हूँ एंड मुझे सारे नैन वैल्यूज मिल जाएंगे, राइट। ठीक है, अब थोड़ा सा और कॉम्प्लेक्स जाते हैं, थोड़ा सा और कॉम्प्लेक्स जाते हैं। लेट्स टेक अ कॉम्प्लेक्स यूज केस। ठीक है, इसको मैं डिलीट करता हूँ, राइट, इसको भी डिलीट करता हूँ। ठीक है, सो लेट्स टेक अ कॉम्प्लेक्स यूज केस। तो इसमें मैं बोलता हूँ कि मुझे बताओ कितने ऐसे लोग हैं जो बेसिकली मैरिड है, मेल है और इनकम इज मोर देन 2 लाख। ये 3 कंडीशन है, ऐसे कितने लोग हैं। ठीक है, अगर मुझे फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स अज्यूम कि मेरा ऑब्जेक्टिव ही यही था कि मुझे ये फाइंड करना है, दिस इज व्हाट आई वाज सपोज टू फाइंड आउट ऑफ दिस डेटा सेट। So what I'll do is I'll essentially ask ChatGPT that write a code that helps me find out the number of users who are male, और दूसरा हमने क्या अज्यूम किया था, आर मेल, एंड लेट्स अज्यूम दैट आर मेल एंड मैरिड एंड हैव एन इनकम लेस देन 2 lakhs। ठीक है, ठीक है, चलो इसको अब देखते हैं कि हाउ चैट जीपीटी इज एबल टू फिक्स दिस, या फिर वेदर इट इज एबल टू गिव मी अ आंसर फॉर दिस और नॉट। सही है, उसने मुझे कोड रिटर्न कर दिया है। इस कोड को मैं समझाता हूँ कि इसमें कर क्या रहे हैं। तो पहले मैं ये कॉपी पेस्ट कर लेता हूँ। तो उसने चलो पांडास इंपोर्ट किया, ये हमने ऑलरेडी इंपोर्ट कर रखा है, तो मैं इसे कमेंट आउट कर देता हूँ। उसने क्या किया कि एक फिल्टर्ड डेटा करके एक वेरिएबल बनाया जिसमें उसने तीनों कंडीशंस जो मैंने बोले ऊपर, मेल, मैरिड एंड लेस देन 2000, उसने तीनों कंडीशन लगा दिए कि जेंडर इक्वल्स टू मेल, मैरिड इक्वल्स टू यस एंड एप्लीकेंट इनकम इज लेस देन 2 लाख। ठीक है, वेरिएबल नेम वगैरह उसने सब कुछ सेम रखा क्योंकि मैंने उसे अपने जो कॉलम्स थे उसका इंफॉर्मेशन दे रखा था। ठीक है, देन उसने नंबर ऑफ यूजर्स काउंट किया कि इस जो फिल्टर्ड डेटा है इसमें नंबर ऑफ रोज कितने आ रहे हैं, एंड देन इट रिटर्न्ड मी। ठीक है, तो आप देखोगे तो उसने बोला कि 23 ऐसे लोग हैं जो ये तीनों कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई करते हैं। ठीक है, अगर मैं ये डेटा देखना चाहूँ कि ये डेटा दिखता कैसा है, तो मैं यहाँ पे फिल्टर डेटा डॉट हेड कर लेता हूँ, विच आई ऑलरेडी नो दैट व्हाट इट डज, इट गिव्स मी द फर्स्ट 5 रोज, राइट। सो मेरे क्या कंडीशंस थे, मेल, मैरिड एंड लेस देन 2 लाख। तो आपको जो भी सैंपल दिख रहा है यहाँ पे, तो पीपल आर मेल, यस ऑल ऑफ देम आर मैरिड एंड ऑल ऑफ देम हैव एन इनकम लेस देन वो 2 lakhs, right? So it gave me the right response. So this is how I can do some custom requirements also. तो मुझे कुछ EDA करना है, so probably I didn't know how to write this code. This line of code was alien to me. I'm doing it for the first time. But now I generated it using ChatGPT and it worked for me. And while reading the code, I'm able to understand. So what is more important is that you are able to comprehend and understand the code. So fundamental जरूरी है, और चैट जीपीटी से क्या आउटपुट आ रहा है वो समझना जरूरी है, एंड दैट इज हाउ इट विल हेल्प यू गाइस। Cool. Did you guys try this out? How many people are still there on with me? Just give me a thumbs up if you guys are still on and समझ में आ रही है चीजें whatever we are discussing today. You guys are able to understand. Great, great. Thanks everyone. चलो फिर आगे ट्राई करते हैं कुछ थोड़ा सा और डिफिकल्ट यूज केसेस पे जाते हैं, ठीक है? तो मैं अब इसको डिलीट करता हूँ एंड आई विल जस्ट डिलीट नीचे वाली चीजें भी। चलो तो कुछ सैंपल्स लेते हैं। लेट्स टेक सम सैंपल्स। तो चलो हमने तो बेसिक ऑपरेशंस करवा लिए चैट जीपीटी से। नाउ लेट्स ट्राई दैट। व्हाट आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग इज दैट चैट जीपीटी गिव्स मी अ पाई प्लॉट ऑफ जेंडर, कि मतलब जो मेल फीमेल है उनको एक पाई चार्ट में प्लॉट करके आउटपुट दे। ठीक है, तो मैं चैट जीपीटी को बोलता हूँ, कैन यू राइट अ कोड फॉर प्लॉटिंग द जेंडर इन अ पाई प्लॉट। तो इसने मुझे ये कोड दिया है। लेट्स अज्यूम कि मुझे अभी नहीं पता कि कोड में क्या लिखा हुआ है, मैं बस सीधा डाल के ट्राई करता हूँ कि इट इज वर्किंग और नॉट वर्किंग। तो मैंने ये कोड एज इट इज ब्लाइंडली पेस्ट किया। ग्रेट, इसने मुझे जो दिया नीचे दैट इज एक्चुअली द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ मेल एंड फीमेल, कि मेरे 81% मेल्स हैं इस डेटा सेट में, 18% फीमेल है। So I was able to generate a full-fledged graph, even having no idea about how to generate graphs. ठीक है, अब इस कोड को आप एनालाइज करोगे तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि यहाँ पे दो लाइब्रेरीज इंपोर्ट किया इसने, देन एक इसने जेंडर काउंट किया, देन यहाँ पे नीचे उसने प्लॉट किया। यहाँ पे आप प्लॉट का साइज कंट्रोल कर सकते हो। 8:6 के जगह पे मैं 6:4 कर दूं तो थोड़ा छोटा हो जाएगा। कलर्स कंट्रोल कर सकते हो कि कलर्स क्या रखना है आपको, और बाकी चीजें कंट्रोल कर सकते हो। एक्सेस का क्या है, टाइटल क्या रहेगा, तो मल्टीपल चीजें कंट्रोल कर सकते हो। अब इसमें मैं कुछ और भी चीजें बोल सकता हूँ, कैन यू चेंज द कलर ऑफ पाई चार्ट टू रेड एंड वाइट। सी, तो उसने मुझे एक और कोड दिया जहाँ पे उसने कलर वेरिएबल डिफाइन किया है। अब इसको चला के देखते हैं हाउ इट इज वर्किंग। सी, रेड और व्हाइट में आ गया सेम चीज, राइट? तो मैंने उसे बोला कि मुझे रेड एंड व्हाइट में दो, तो उसने रेड एंड व्हाइट एज एन इनपुट पास कर दिया कलर्स में एंड इट स्टार्टेड कमिंग आउट। सो इसके जगह पे मैं रेड एंड ग्रीन भी कर दूं तो इट विल वर्क दैट वे। So once you get the code, now you have to comprehend the code, understand it and make changes on the go, कि अच्छा यहाँ पे plot dot figure में यहाँ पे size define हो रही है, यहाँ पे color define हो रहा है, यहाँ पे title define हो रहा है, so on and so forth, right? एक और एग्जांपल लेते हैं। लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल वेयरइन वी विल एक्चुअली बी, तो आपको अगर कुछ करना है तो आप लाइक इफ यू गाइस हैव एनी स्पेसिफिक कस्टम यूज केस कि चलो ये व्यू देखते हैं, तो आप चैट में लिखो, वी विल ट्राई इट ऑन द गो इटसेल्फ। Suel is asking, we can use and in place of and operator. Why single and is working here? कहाँ पे? Uh, इसमें आप बोल रहे हो ना, सिंगल एंड ऑल्सो वर्क्स। ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है दैट आपको एंड ऑपरेटर यूज करना है। दिस इज नॉट, सो दिस इज अ पांडास ऑपरेशन दैट यू आर डूइंग। दिस इज नॉट एनी नॉर्मल एंड ऑपरेटर। ये पांडास ऑपरेटर है और इसके अंदर सिंटैक्स यही होता है। सो व्हाट यू आर गेटिंग इज राइट यहाँ पे। तो मैं उसको ये बोल रहा हूँ कि जेंडर मेल होना चाहिए एंड मैरिड यस होना चाहिए एंड एप्लीकेंट इनकम लेस देन 2 लाख होना चाहिए। दैट इज हाउ यू रीड दिस स्टेटमेंट। ठीक है, एक और केस ट्राई कर लेते हैं। लेट्स ट्राई अ सिंपल यूज केस दैट कैन यू प्लॉट अ हिस्टोग्राम ऑफ, बताओ किसका हिस्टोग्राम प्रिंट करें। लेट्स अज्यूम, लेट्स टेक हिस्टोग्राम ऑफ, किसका हिस्टोग्राम ले सकते हैं, हिस्टोग्राम ऑफ एप्लीकेंट इनकम ले लेते हैं। ठीक है, एप्लीकेंट इनकम ले लेते हैं, एप्लीकेंट इनकम। चलो लेट्स सी, पहले तो उसे पेस्ट करके चला के देखते हैं कैसा चल रहा है। सी उसने एप्लीकेंट इनकम को हिस्टोग्राम में प्लॉट करके दे दिया मुझे, काफ़ी सिंपल तरीके से, विच इज़ गुड, राइट? इसमें आप कलर चेंज कर सकते हो, बिन्स के साइजेस चेंज कर सकते हो, दे कैन डू मल्टीपल थिंग्स। अब इसमें दूसरा वेरिएबल नेम लेके आप चीज़ें एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हो, एक बार कोड मिल गया। आपका जो नीचे साइज है आउटपुट का, उसको कंट्रोल कर सकते हो। सी, सो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ कंट्रोल्स दैट इज देयर, एंड कैसे हो रहा है चीज़ें समझ में आ गई। सो हमने आज क्या किया, ईडीए में वी वर एबल टू import a data set. We had no idea on how to view it, कैसे कॉलम्स देख सकते हैं, कैसे डेटा टाइप्स देख सकते हैं, कैसे कुछ ऑपरेशंस कर सकते हैं, कैसे उसके ऊपर ग्राफ्स जनरेट कर सकते हैं, कैसे उन ग्राफ्स को वी कैन एक्सपेरिमेंट अराउंड विद। सो वी डिड अ होल लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स just using ChatGPT, just using prompts. So if I had no idea about coding and it was my first day at job, I would still have been able to successfully complete some of these tasks by purely using ChatGPT and save my time also. मैं ये जा करके ढूंढता कि हिस्टोग्राम कैसे जनरेट करते हैं, मैं गूगल करता हूँ कि हिस्टोग्राम हिस्टोग्राम होता क्या है, इसका लाइन ऑफ कोड क्या होता है, वहां मुझे एक एग्जांपल के लिए कोड मिलता। यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है कि मेरा जो डेटा सेट है जिस पे मैं काम कर रहा हूँ, मुझे उसके लिए ही कोड मिल जा रहा है, right? Now, as a data scientist, I need to understand the code, I need to comprehend the code, and then use it for any use case that we are having. ठीक है? So ये हो गई चैट जीपीटी यूज करके मल्टीपल चीजें, राइट? ऑल इन विथ मी गाइस, प्लीज गिव मी अ थम्स अप इफ यू आर liking the session, not liking the session. Are you guys active, not active? Anything that you want me to cover further? कुछ doubts हैं, कुछ confusions हैं आपके? One thing जो मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा, like all of you guys, that in today's world, right, not only chat gpt, a lot of technologies are evolving, lot of things are coming up. So always go for courses that kind of absorb these new dependencies that come up, new technologies that come up, and are able to like smartly build in that entire new curriculum, new structure in whatever courses that you are pursuing. So that is how you should look at it. ठीक है? Always go for institutes that specialize in something. For example, जैसे कि मैं बहुत proudly बोल सकता हूँ कि no institute in India is providing a data science course better than AlmaBetter. Yes, there are a whole lot of institutes. आपको probably इंस्टीट्यूट है जहाँ पे हजारों कोर्सेज चल रहे हैं, सेल्स के भी चल रहे हैं, मार्केटिंग के भी चल रहे हैं, डेटा साइंस के भी चल रहे हैं, सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट के भी चल रहे हैं, डेवऑप्स के भी चल रहे हैं, बट दे डोंट हैव एक्सपर्टीज इन वन कोर्स. सो इन केस यू आर लुकिंग फॉर नीश, इन केस यू आर लुकिंग टू बी अ डेटा साइंटिस्ट, अगर आप डिटरमाइंड हो कि आपको डेटा साइंटिस्ट ही बनना है, राइट, देन Alma Better से better data science expertise to market में no one is having. That I'm pretty confident about. People might be good in some other thing. There might be a company that might exist and they might be very good in DevOps. I don't deny that. Their core expertise is DevOps, but they are doing a whole lot of other things, and data science is like a secondary, tertiary expertise for them. But if data science as a niche, if you want to go for an organization and institution that has a niche in certain thing, right? तो वही बात हो गई कि आईआईटी के कैंपस में nowadays लॉ भी हो रहा है, एमबीए भी हो रहा है, बट व्हाट इज आईआईटी नोन फॉर? इट इज नोन फॉर इट्स फ्लैगशिप बीटेक प्रोग्राम, right? So that is what Alma Better is known for. It is known for its flagship data science course, curriculum, and everything. So you might find a lot of places where a lot of things are happening, but try to understand that what the niche and what the flagship of that particular institute or that particular edtech platform is, and then make a call accordingly. ठीक है? So going ahead, so last part what we will do is, तो हमने यहाँ पे EDA कर लिया, and we did code generation, we did bug fixing, so on and so forth. The last part, we will be using a library called Pandas AI. Now this is again part of your curriculum, right? So once you if you, in case you happen to join Alma Better and pursue courses at Alma Better, Pandas AI will be part of your numerical programming in Python module, जहाँ पे Pandas AI के बारे में कुछ कुछ चीजें बताई जाएंगी आपको. But today I'll just give you a glimpse of what Pandas AI essentially is. ठीक है? तो Pandas AI is nothing but, तो Pandas हमने देखा अभी ऊपर, right? Pandas is a library that is used for running operations on your data frames. Pandas AI is nothing but ChatGPT powered Pandas library. So हम यहाँ पे क्या करते हैं? Pandas AI install करते हैं, okay? And within Pandas AI there is a function called Smart Data Frame. सो फंडामेंटली ये क्या करता है दैट अभी तक हम क्या कर रहे थे, हमारा जो भी डेटा सेट था उसका इंफॉर्मेशन हम चैट जीपीटी में जाके मैनुअली टाइप कर रहे थे and then we were getting a response for it, and then we were copying that code back to our Python notebook, and then we were executing that code, checking for the consistency, logic, everything, and doing it on ourselves. Pandas AI takes it a step ahead and does this entire thing for you. ठीक है, तो मैं दिखाऊंगा कैसे। तो पहले तो हम एक नॉर्मल डेटा फ्रेम इनिशियलाइज कर लेते हैं। लेट्स टेक अ स्मॉल डेटा फ्रेम फॉर एग्जांपल। तो यहाँ पे डेटा फ्रेम मैंने खुद से क्रिएट किया है। दिस डेटा फ्रेम हैज, इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल डेटा फ्रेम जस्ट फॉर बेसिक एग्जांपल्स ओनली। तो कंट्री, जीडीपी, हैप्पीनेस, ठीक है, ये तीन चीज है। तीन कॉलम्स है, कंट्री नेम्स है, उनका जीडीपी है और उनका हैप्पीनेस इंडेक्स है। छोटा सा डेटा सेट है, जस्ट टू प्ले अराउंड विथ टू सी दैट हाउ पांडास एआई इज इफेक्टिवली वर्किंग। ठीक है, पांडास एआई इज नथिंग। अगर आपको पांडास एआई के बारे में थोड़ा और पढ़ना है कि क्या है पांडास एआई, कैसे काम करता है, तो आप पांडास एआई लाइब्रेरी सर्च कर सकते हो गूगल पे, पांडास एआई लाइब्रेरी इन पाइथन। और आपको सॉरी दिस इज पांडास आ गया ये, और आपको पांडास एआई लाइब्रेरी का ऑफिशियल डॉक्यूमेंटेशन मिल जाएगा। यहाँ पे क्या यूज केसेस हैं, क्या क्या चीजें होती हैं, वो आप आराम से देख सकते हो। ठीक है, ऑल ऑफ दी लिंक टू लर्निंग मटेरियल्स और जो भी चीजें हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, कोलैब नोटबुक, सीएसवी, डेटा दैट वी आर यूजिंग फॉर एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन, ऑल ऑफ दिस विल बी शेयर्ड इन अ कॉमन व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप। सो Krishna will be dropping in the link to WhatsApp group on the chat section. You guys feel free to join in that group in order to get access to all the learning materials that we are exploring around with today. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे क्या होता है पांडास एआई लाइब्रेरी में, आई एसेंशियली कनेक्ट इट विद चैट जीपीटी। सो ओपन एआई के कुछ एपीआईज है यहाँ पे जो हम यूज करते हैं। डोंट वरी मच अबाउट देम, ठीक है, दैट इज फाइन। लेट्स जस्ट कंसिडर दैट इट इज ओके फॉर नाउ। ठीक है, तो उसके बाद हम क्या करते हैं, नाउ वी हैव स्टार्टेड एलएलएम, वी कैन फाइनली, ठीक है, ओके, जस्ट गिव मी 1 मिनट गाइस, जस्ट गिव मी 1 मिनट। ग्रेट, ठीक है, लेट्स मूव अहेड, लेट्स या प्रोसीड। ठीक है, तो अब हम ट्राई करेंगे पांडास एआई लाइब्रेरी को यूज करने का, एंड विल ट्राई टू सी। तो यहाँ पे हमने बेसिकली थोड़ा बहुत इनिशियलाइजेशन कर लिया, स्मार्ट डेटा फ्रेम ऐड कर दिया। तो यहाँ पे अभी मैं निटीज डिटीज में नहीं जा रहा हूँ, बट दिस इज अ वे दैट आई एम कन्वर्टिंग माय डेटा फ्रेम इनटू अ स्मार्ट डेटा फ्रेम सो दैट पांडास एआई कैन एसेंशियली वर्क ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट। ठीक है, तो अब मेरा ये डेटा सेट है जहाँ पे कंट्री, जीडीपी एंड हैप्पीनेस है। नाउ व्हाट आई विल सिंपली डू is use that smart data frame that I created using pandas AI and sdf.chat function use करके मुझे जो भी करवाना है ना, मैं वो सीधा यहीं पे लिख दूंगा instead of going to chat gpt. So I don't need to come over here. Now I can do everything over here itself. तो मैं अगर ये डालता हूँ रिटर्न दी बॉटम 3 कंट्रीज बाय जीडीपी, तो उसने मुझे फ्रांस, स्पेन और चाइना रिटर्न किया। इज दैट राइट? फ्रांस सही है, सबसे लोवेस्ट। स्पेन सही है, सेकंड लोवेस्ट। चाइना विच इज थर्ड लोवेस्ट, सही है। तो उसने मुझे सही चीजें रिटर्न की। और अब उसने मुझे ये काम कैसे किया, हाउ डिड इट एक्चुअली रिटर्न दिस, राइट, व्हाट वाज द कोड दैट इट रैन बिहाइंड दैट, वो भी मैं देख सकता हूं बाय टाइपिंग इन sdf डॉट लास्ट कोड एग्जीक्यूटेड। सो डॉट लास्ट एग्जीक्यूटेड इज अ मेथड दैट आई कैन यूज टू कॉल दिस। तो फिर मुझे दिखा यहाँ पे कि यहाँ पे उसने क्या किया कि दिस इज द कोड दैट इट हैज एग्जीक्यूटेड। तो इस कोड को भी मैं अगर यहाँ पे पेस्ट करूं, तो उसने क्या किया, बॉटम 3 जीडीपी को सॉर्ट किया, सेइंग दैट सॉर्ट वैल्यूज बाय जीडीपी डॉट हेड 3, एंड उसको फिर एक रिजल्ट में प्रिंट कर दिया, एक रिजल्ट के अंदर डाल दिया। ठीक है, वेरी सिंपल, एंड देन इट प्रिंटेड दैट रिजल्ट फॉर मी। सो दिस ऑल्सो शुड वर्क। नहीं, आई थिंक यहाँ पे हमें सीधा यही प्रिंट कर सकते हैं। वी कैन स्ट्रेट अवे प्रिंट दिस, लेट्स ट्राई दिस। sort value by सी। तो थोड़ा सा आपको कोड इंटरप्रेट करना पड़ेगा कि यहाँ पे क्या सही लिखा हुआ है, क्या गलत लिखा हुआ है। फॉर एग्जांपल उसने जो रिटर्न किया उसमें वो डीएफ को भी इनिशियलाइज कर रहा है डीएफ जीरो से, तो दैट इज समथिंग दैट इट इज डूइंग एट एट देयर एंड। बट द फंडामेंटल इज दैट यहाँ पे जो कोड रिस्पॉन्स आया उसको आप थोड़ा सा ट्विक इन करके यू कैन गेट द एक्चुअल कोड दैट हेल्प यू इन गेटिंग दिस ऑपरेशन। ठीक है। थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लेक्स ट्राई करते हैं। दैट व्हाट्स द सम ऑफ जीडीपी ऑफ टू अनहैप्पीएस्ट कंट्री एंड विच आर दोस टू कंट्रीज। तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि सबसे अनहैप्पी दो कंट्री कौन से हैं एंड उनका जीडीपी का सम क्या है, ये बताओ मुझे। ठीक है। सो लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल यहाँ पे। So the sum of GDP of the two unhappiest countries is 309 and the countries are Australia and Canada. This is what it returned to me. देखते हैं, let's validate this. सबसे अनहैप्पी कंट्री इज no, सबसे happiest country, right? What did we write? Did we write happiest or unhappiest? Unhappiest. Okay. Australia and Canada are the unhappiest. सो देखो यहाँ पे उसने उल्टा कर दिया, यहाँ पे उसने हैप्पीएस्ट पकड़ लिया इंस्टेड ऑफ अनहैप्पीएस्ट। लेट्स सी व्हाट वी डिड रॉन्ग ओवर हियर। व्हाट आर सम ऑफ द टू some of the GDP of two and upper, which are those two countries least happy लिखते हैं unhappiest की जगह। सी, अब उसने सही पकड़ा, चाइना और जापान। सो अब देखोगे तो चाइना और जापान आर द लीस्ट हैप्पी, विच इज राइट। दोनों 5 पॉइंट समथिंग है, बाकी सब उससे ज्यादा है। और इस चीज को अचीव करने के लिए उसने कोड क्या रन किया वो भी मुझे दिख रहा है नीचे। सो दिस वाज द कोड दैट इट रैन। उसने n smallest निकाला, so these are some of the functions. So I'm not going into details of these functions, but the idea is that it was able to figure out that what actually happened over here. Similarly, आप कुछ भी और चीजें पूछ सकते हो, which country has the highest GDP and how much? Very simple question, right? So the country with highest GDP is United States with a GDP of 1929, जो कि सही बात है। यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स का जीडीपी इज हाईएस्ट, राइट। वो जो कोड चला है उसके लिए वो भी आप देख सकते हो कि इस चीज को अचीव करने के लिए क्या कोड चला है एंड हाउ यू हैव रन इट, राइट। नाउ थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लेक्स भी कर सकते हैं। दैट रिटर्न अ न्यू डेटा फ्रेम दैट हैज एन एडिशनल कॉलम दैट इज द रेशियो ऑफ जीडीपी एंड हैप्पीनेस इंडेक्स, व्हिच मींस जीडीपी बाय हैप्पीनेस इंडेक्स। ठीक है। तो वो रिटर्न कर रहा है क्या, लेट्स सी वेदर इट इज डूइंग और नॉट। कर रहा है। और कैसे कर रहा है, लाइक उसने रिटर्न तो कर दिया जो मैंने बोला, जो रिक्वायरमेंट रेज किया कि एक नया डेटा फ्रेम बनाओ जिसमें देयर इज अ न्यू कॉलम ऑल टुगेदर व्हिच इज जीडीपी हैप्पीनेस रेशियो, व्हिच इज लाइक अ रेशियो ऑफ जीडीपी इज टू हैप्पीनेस इंडेक्स। इस चीज को उसने किया कैसे वो भी हम देख सकते हैं। sdf डॉट लास्ट कोड एग्जीक्यूटेड, लेट्स सी। सी, तो उसने काफी सिंपल है, यहाँ पे एक नया उसने कॉलम डिफाइन किया है विच इज दिस बाय दिस एंड देन उसको अपेंड करके इट इज प्रिंटिंग इट। वेरी सिंपल। तो बेसिकली जो मैंने बोला वो तो उसने कर भी दिया। पांडाज एआई वाज एबल टू डू व्हाट वी सेड, बट इट आल्सो शोड मी द कोड यूजिंग विच इट एग्जीक्यूटेड इट। ठीक है। सिमिलरली अगर मुझे कुछ प्लॉट करवाना है तो वो भी मैं कर सकता हूँ। प्लॉट अ चार्ट ऑफ जीडीपी बाय कंट्री। लेट्स सी हाउ हाउ पांडाज एआई इज एबल टू डू इट। कर भी पाता है कि नहीं। कर दिया उसने। जीडीपी बाय कंट्री उसने प्लॉट कर दिया, राइट। मैं उसे बोल सकता हूँ, उसका मैं कोड भी देख सकता हूँ कि उसका क्या कोड था, हाउ डिड इट एक्चुअली केम आउट। सो नाउ आई कैन गिव इट कस्टम रिक्वायरमेंट दैट प्लॉट अ हिस्टोग्राम ऑफ द जीडीपी कंट्री यूजिंग अ लेट्स से a red color for each bar. सी, इट वॉज एबल टू डू इट परफेक्टली. थोड़ा टाइम लगा बट हो गया. मतलब दिस इज वॉट इट डिड, राइट? सो ऐसे करके मैं कुछ भी बोलूँ, मैं उसे बोलूँ कि मुझे पाई चार्ट जनरेट कर दो, हिस्टोग्राम जनरेट कर दो, लाइन चार्ट जनरेट कर दो, इट विल बी एबल टू डू इट. सो स्मार्ट डेटा फ्रेम, राइट, इज द मॉड्यूल दैट आई यूज्ड इन पांडास एआई. तो हमने स्मार्ट डेटा फ्रेम यूज करके ये सारी चीजें कर ली. अब एक और चीज होती है स्मार्ट डेटा लेक. तो मैं इसके बारे में थोड़ा ब्रीफली बता देता हूँ, सो दैट इफ यू गाइज आर यूजिंग इट, दैट विल हेल्प यू गाइज अलॉट. सो द अदर थिंग इज स्मार्ट डेटा लेक. स्मार्ट डेटा लेक क्या है कि अगर मुझे मल्टीपल डेटा सेट्स के अक्रॉस काम करना है, ठीक है, तो लेट्स अज्यूम दैट दो डेटा सेट हैं. एक है एम्प्लॉय डीएफ और एक है सैलरी डीएफ. ठीक है, एम्प्लॉय डीएफ और सैलरी डीएफ दिखता कैसे है, पहले मैं वो बता देता हूँ. सो दिस इज एम्प्लॉय डीएफ जहाँ पे एम्प्लॉय आईडीज हैं, उनका नाम है, उनका डिपार्टमेंट है. एंड एक सैलरीज डीएफ है जहाँ पे एम्प्लॉय आईडी है और सैलरीज है. सो टू डिफरेंट डेटा सेट्स. सो अगर मुझे जानना है कि जॉन की सैलरी कितनी है, तो मैं जॉन से एम्प्लॉय आईडी 1 पे जाऊंगा. एम्प्लॉय आईडी इज द कॉमन फैक्टर बिटवीन बोथ द डेटा सेट्स. तो वो 1 से 1 मैप करेगा, वहां से सैलरी निकाल के देगा, राइट? सो बेसिकली मैंने दोनों डेटा सेट्स को इनिशियलाइज किया है. एंड नाउ वंस आई हैव इनिशियलाइज्ड बोथ द डेटा सेट्स इन अ कॉमन डेटा कॉल्ड इन अ कॉमन framework called smart data lake. So now then I can ask questions that will be contextual to both the data sets. तो मैं दोनों के कॉम्बिनेशन के हिसाब से क्वेश्चंस पूछ सकता हूँ. जैसे हु गेट्स पेड द मोस्ट या फिर हु गेट्स पेड द लीस्ट. ठीक है, इसके लिए उसे क्या करना पड़ेगा, दोनों डेटा को कंबाइन करना पड़ेगा. एंड देन सैलरी के हिसाब से डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर में चीजें सॉर्ट करनी पड़ेंगी, असेंडिंग ऑर्डर में सॉर्ट करनी पड़ेंगी, एंड जो फर्स्ट रिजल्ट आएगा दैट इज द लीस्ट, राइट? दैट इज व्हाट इट शुड आइडियली डू. लेट्स सी क्या रिप्लाई आता है. So the employee who gets paid the least is Liam. Liam कहाँ पे है? थर्ड पे है, राइट? सैलरी लोवेस्ट किसकी है? 4500, थर्ड की है. तो थर्ड इज लियाम. इसने इसको इसको रन कैसे किया वो देख लेते हैं. एस डी एफ नहीं, लेक डॉट लास्ट कोड एग्जीक्यूटेड. तो इसने क्या किया, पहले पांडास डॉट मर्ज फंक्शन यूज किया. एम्प्लॉय और इसको दोनों एम्प्लॉय और सैलरी डीएफ दोनों को मर्ज किया. फिर जैसे कि मैंने बताया था, राइट, कि उसने फिर उसे मिनिमम सैलरी के हिसाब से सॉर्ट किया. एंड देन इट प्रिंटेड द एम्प्लॉय हु गेट्स द पेड द लीस्ट इज वेरिएबल नेम. उसने यहाँ पे जो जनरेट किया था वो करके निकाल दिया. सो आप बेसिकली वर एबल टू यूज मल्टीपल डेटा फ्रेम्स ऑल्सो. तो यहाँ पे हमने दो यूज किया. आप यहाँ पे चाहो तो 3 डेटा फ्रेम्स यूज कर लो एंड तीनों के हिसाब से फिर क्वेश्चन पूछो. ठीक है, व्हाट इज द सैलरी ऑफ जॉन, तो आपको वो मिल जाएगा. वो कोड कैसे चला वो भी मिल जाएगा. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लेक्स क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हो. विच डिपार्टमेंट एम्प्लॉय हैज द लोवेस्ट सैलरी एंड व्हाट इज द सैलरी एंड एम्प्लॉय नेम. ठीक है, तो आपने पूछा कि कौन से डिपार्टमेंट का एम्प्लॉय का सैलरी सबसे कम है और वो कौन सा डिपार्टमेंट है और वो सैलरी कितनी है. तो उसने सब कुछ करके बता दिया. उसका जो कोड है, तो दिस इज ऑलरेडी जनरेटेड, बट आप लेक डॉट लास्ट कोड एग्जीक्यूटेड जनरेट करके देख सकते हो कि इस क्वेश्चन को आंसर करने के लिए उसने क्या किया, राइट? हाउ डिड इट डू इट. ठीक है, उसी में आप अगर आप मिनिमम की जगह पे मैक्सिमम देखना चाहते हो, तो फिर आप यहाँ पे रिवर्स कर लो, आईडीएक्स मैक्स कर लो और द एम्प्लॉय विथ हाईएस्ट सैलरी कर दो. तो इससे आपको हाईएस्ट पे मिल जाएगा, राइट? एंड कैन आई गेट नेम ऑफ ऑल एम्प्लॉय सॉर्टेड इन डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर ऑफ सैलरी. तो ये भी आपको मिल जाएगा कि इसमें क्या हो रहा है, राइट? एंड इसका कोड कैसे चल रहा है वो भी मिल जाएगा आपको कि अच्छा, डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर ऑफ सैलरी में लोगों का नाम जानने के लिए दिस इज द कोड दैट आई नीड टू रन. फिर आप कोड थोड़ा सा रिव्यू कर लो. ओके, एक डीएफ एम्प्लॉयज है, दोनों को मर्ज कर रहे हैं, मर्ज करके फिर सैलरी से सॉर्ट कर रहे हैं, एंड देन आई एम ट्रांसफरिंग इट टू अ लिस्ट एंड देन प्रिंटिंग दैट लिस्ट. दैट इज एसेंशियली दैट नीड्स टू बी डन टू फुलफिल दिस ऑब्जेक्टिव. ठीक है. So these are some of the use cases of Pandas AI, guys, and in coming days, I think Pandas AI will improve because I think this is one of the earlier versions of Pandas AI library. जैसे जैसे ChatGPT improve हो रहा है, plus also other competitor services like Bard and those things are coming up. So that is helping out things, and definitely things will improve and will definitely move in this direction. So that is broadly, guys, what I wanted to cover in today's masterclass. I hope you guys had some idea around how ChatGPT is being used in data science, in development profiles, and what is the scope of these things, and why is it important to have ChatGPT as a tool in modern day data science profiles. So वही अभी से 5 साल पहले शायद आपको नहीं चाहिए था, बट अभी चाहिए, एंड क्यों चाहिए है, and why is it important to go for a curriculum, go for a course that acknowledges this fact and understands the use cases of large language models in day to day profile, and make you a coder, make you a data scientist, make you a data analyst that has an edge over the rest of the people, right, who are trying to pursue the same thing, by giving you an understanding on how to use this, learn doing it with practical applications, work on projects that are powered by ChatGPT. जैसा कि मैंने बताया, right, that our student itself, they created a ChatGPT powered bot for AlmaBetter's Instagram account. So today, if you go to AlmaBetter's Instagram account, you will be chatting with a bot that has actually been created by the students at AlmaBetter. So practical applications of such things in your day to day life is what you should actually look forward to. Meanwhile, let me take some questions. Uh, uh, ठीक है, I think someone from counseling team. Krishna, can you check who is there from the counseling team? Probably counselors can also come in, and we can start off with the brief overview of what is expected out of this course, what all things will be covered, what all features are there, and any specific questions that any student must be having. Meanwhile, guys, if you have any questions, any queries about today's masterclass, any feedback, feel free to drop in your comments on this chat itself. ठीक है. And what I'll also do is I'll quickly just give you link of my LinkedIn account, in case if you want to discuss anything with me, have questions regarding anything, career advice in general, irrespective of the fact that you are joining AlmaBetter or not, that doesn't matter. In general, if you have anything to talk about, feel free to reach out to me. I have some 6 7 years of experience. I'm not saying that I am a veteran and I have 50 years of experience in data science. I have good 6 7 years of experience. I understand how the industry moves, how things are revolving. So basis my experience, I'll be able to help you guys as much as possible, and try to ensure that you guys are learning from my experience. So do feel free to connect on my LinkedIn. So this is my LinkedIn URL. Feel free to connect with me over there, and we'll be able to discuss and have more things around that. Can someone from the admissions team please come on stage and start off with the session? Meanwhile, guys, if you have any queries, anything to talk about, let me know. So we have Bilal and Pratiksha from the admission counseling team. So they will be here to answer any queries, any doubts that you have. They'll explain you the entire flow of how the dashboard looks like, what can you expect while being a student at AlmaBetter, how is it different from a lot of other things that you see openly, what differently are we doing, why data science as a field is very niche and very core to our DNA. AlmaBetter essentially has that expertise, right? That mostly we are very consolidated in terms of our effort. So Bilal and Pratiksha, can you guys please come up on stage and take the session ahead? And if people, you guys have any doubt, any queries, feel free to drop in your questions. I think I've answered most of the questions. Let me just check the Q&A section meanwhile also. Uh, can we do freelancing using ChatGPT? Suhail is asking. Yes, Suhail, definitely you can do freelancing. In fact, I have met a lot of freelancers who are currently using ChatGPT in a lot of use cases, not only coding, but for content generation, obviously for coding, for sentiment analysis, chatbot development, so on and so forth. So you can definitely use it. Ikrar is asking, currently I have the post of designing and design engineer in water resource department. I do not have knowledge of coding or Java, but I want to study as a data scientist. Can you tell me if I can do this way? Yes, Ikrar, you can definitely do it this way. Now, as I told you, I think I have answered this question before also. that data science as a field is itself new, right? Itself is still getting adopted in the wider education ecosystem itself. There is no upfront, or I would say base education for data science that is currently being pursued in traditional education ecosystem. Anyways, at AlmaBetter, the course, the way it has been designed is that everything covers from basics. So if you go to AlmaBetter's website and check the curriculum, everything starts from basic. Everything starts assuming that you don't have any prerequisites or any knowledge about coding or data science in general. So as long as this field interests you, you have some enthu to actually move and make a career in this domain. Joining a course at Alma Better can be a right move if you essentially want to start things from scratch. So definitely a course that is recommended for beginners in which you don't have any prerequisites as such. Abhishek is telling that for me, take as an interested candidate to join in the course. Uh, right. So I think great guys. I think let me just check the chat. Okay, no other questions. So mostly I'll now hand over the stage to Bilal and Pratiksha. Bilal, you're not audible. Can you just check your mic once?
Am I audible now?
Yes, Bilal. Great, you're audible. So yeah, Bilal, guys, here is from our admissions team. I think he is one of the senior members of the admissions counseling team and has been helping students throughout the understanding of the course, what to expect, what not to expect. So feel free to drop in your questions on chat, and Bilal will be assisting you with these questions throughout the class itself. Great. Over to you, Bilal. Please take it ahead.
Great. First of all, thank you, Arshan, for taking this master session. Thank you for your time. Great. Is my screen is visible for everyone? Can I have some heads up? Great, great. So let's start from the dashboard of master class. Right. So here actually at Alma Better, I'm just going to let you the visibility of the dashboard, which is going to be present about Alma Better. So first of all, as you see, once you join the program, there are certain features which would be available on the website, and once you enroll into that program, the first feature you can see on your screen, that is study in group option, where you can create your own group in terms of your flexibility, and then you can go ahead for that. The other option is to do the projects and everything in the team and all that. So this is the option which is known as a community first learning platform, where student can interact with that, right? Second, what are the features which we are going to cover? It's like we provide you industry relevant curriculum, especially from scratch to the advanced level. And most of the classes would be happening, as you see, 100 plus live classes, which you will be getting a lifetime access for the recorded lectures and all that, right? And then along with that, we represent 20 plus capstone project, which are actually industry relevant, which gives you a real understanding about the industry, how you will be able to resolve the issues which currently going on to the companies where actually you are aiming to get into a further growth, and you are looking for a job over there, right? Second, we also provide you doubt resolution sessions. So suppose after the live class, if you have any problem, you can book one-on-one mentorship sessions with the instructors. They are available, right? Along with that, once you complete the program and complete the course, we'll give you some mock interview sessions to give you a clear understanding how you will be able to clear the interviews, because most of the people, they can learn the things from different platforms, but when it comes into terms of clearing the interviews, they are not aware exactly what they are going to ask, what set of questions and things they are going to ask you into the interviews. So the dedicated career coach would be represent you and help you out with that. And as you see, this is a job assurance and job guarantee program with, we have 700 hiring partners, right? And you can see what are the activities you can do here. You can attend the technical skills, you will watch the live sessions, you have guest lectures available, you have an option to do the capstone projects, there's an option of group discussion option is available. Then these are our hiring partners, which is one of the best e-commerce industry, Amazon. Recently we have added Amazon as our hiring partner, Right. So there are almost 700 plus hiring partners which we have, including the product-based companies, where you have a chance to enhance your skill and get into that particular companies. Right. That's all about the hiring partners. And then once you see the placement ratio, the average salary mostly we provide it's around 8 to 9 lakh. As you see, 37% of the students who complete a program, they are going to reach at least for an average salary is 8 to 9 lakh. The people who put some extra effort, they're also reaching above 10 lakh and all that, right? So that's how we proceed. As you see, these are some industry experts from who will be educating you. People from Walmart, people from Accenture, they will be educating you regarding that, and people from Microsoft. So you can understand if there's a person who's from Microsoft, they are educating you, right? So you are getting a roadmap how actually she enters into that product based company. And what happened exactly, people coming from BTech and other background, they study from actually from their colleges and campus where the teachers are actually good, but they're not like a working professional. So teacher can help you with the knowledge, but they are not able to share the personal experience or working professional journey. So that's the reason once we have industry expert, they're going to help you regarding the same, how exactly they get into that company. Like you see there a person from Microsoft, there's a person from Apple, there's a person from University of New Haven. He's an assistant professor over there, right? So these are the some success stories which you have seen. People who got placement through AlmaBetter. A lot of people they have a career gap. They got into the AlmaBetter. They got a job. A lot of people they are from web development background. They switch their industry into the data science domain, right? So they already invest. A lot of people they are in a dilemma. They invest around 4 to 5 years into a different industry. They walk into non-IT sales and marketing. They are in a dilemma that if they start right now, are they able to get the growth? Are they going to accept? Absolutely yes, you will, right? That's the reason you will see there is a shortage of around 90,000 data scientists. You will see the reason is that the campus and the colleges they are not able to produce that kind of data scientists into the industry, because that curriculum is not regarding the same which they are providing into that. So then AlmaBetter, as we see, like most of our co-founder, they already walk into the industry for around 7 to 8 years. They have a great experience, and we don't want to be a jack of all trade and master of none. So we have specified focus on data science only. Anybody who's serious or dedicated about the career and everything, and they wants to make a career ahead, even the background is from BSc, BCom, BA. If you are dedicated enough, you can enter into the data science domain and community, and you will be able to get a job. There's a lot of people we place. If you will see the success stories, some people are from non-IT background, BTech electronics or BSc or BCom. They got the placement, right? So that's why we have designed the program from scratch, so you are able to understand. We have a lot of courses. One of our best course you will see is a master degree program. A master degree is helps anybody, even if they are from non-IT background, to enter into a product based company. Because if you will check the job description of a product based company, most of the product based company you will see they have a criteria, they are looking for a specified domain. But if you do a BCom, BSc, BTech, or any other non-IT background, the problem remain the same, that how you are able to get eligible for these profile. So that's why we're also providing a master degree program, where you are able to do a master degree from abroad and get selected, and you will also have a same chance as a person who did a BTech or a MCA like that. So you stand above these people, and you also have a great chance to get grow into the industry, right?